We've been getting good responses to our Ask a Prophet promotion. So I'm here today with Jesus and Mohammed to respond to some of the best ones. Sandy writes, Dear Jesus, I'm a recently born-again Christian, and I was disturbed by your treatment of your previous roommate, Neil, in the first Odd Couple episode. Since your message is to love everyone, how do you justify your attempted murder of Neil just because he's a homosexual?
Listen, Sandy, with all due respect, where do you get that my message is to love everyone? Have you ever read the Bible? I mean, I'm the guy who condemned a fig tree to death because I was pissed off that it didn't have a fucking fig for me. My father, who is also me, clearly said, if man lie with mankind, as with womankind, they have both committed abomination. They shall both be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. I'm not sensing any room for ambiguity there. You liberal, cafeteria Christians really piss me off. I'm just thankful I have plenty of true followers out there, like the Reverend Fred Phelps, who really get my true message.
Empty without Jesus. Congratulations! I say that because thus far in my YouTube existence, I've stayed fairly middle of the road. I attribute that to being, raised abroad, being exposed to lots of different cultures and beliefs. But I generally hold people's religious beliefs in high regards. I welcome, debate, and I welcome hearing other people's thoughts on things. But watching your videos, I just got to say, dude, you're a prick. You are a prick. And the reason why I say that is, I've seen other videos where folks will, go on and they'll, preach the word of, of the Christian God, and, they want to spread, the Christianity. They want to spread Christianity. You're not doing that. What you do in your videos is you are singling out and you are attacking anybody with atheistic beliefs.
Just because we have the modern conveniences and different looking clothes that seem modern, people don't realize that we're serfs and we're slaves. They only learn as much as they know to get by. They don't try to take it the extra step. If people spend as much time on their intellect as they did about their religious devotion, imagine what we would accomplish as a society as a whole. I mean, it's almost unimaginable if people would dedicate their religious endeavor towards their own intellect and the intellect of others. How I feel that I'm affecting things is I'm wanting to crash society on an extreme wave. And I'm not worried about the repercussions so much because, I'm an atheist. And I'm trying to be outside of all the dogmas that exist. Intellect and ridicule are the only things I know to lay on them.
There was a question on YouTube. One question that every intelligent atheist must answer. So the intelligent question is that those women in the Salem witch trials might have actually been witches, or the women in Salem might have actually been witches. In order to say the reason why I, as an atheist, believe there were no witches back in Salem and that it was all just a game is the way history is played out. And you'd have to go back and look at history and actually research it. You should have actually researched history before you posted this stupid video that you made. And I'll start by saying one Bible verse, Exodus, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live," and that was 22:18. Punishments by the Puritans were made to be humiliating. Puritan law was often tied to the Bible in some way. In fact, 99% of the time it was tied to the Bible. So they took that as law.
Anyways, I have a question for young Earth creationists, and I'm hoping to get an answer. I'm not going to belittle them. I'm not going to attack them for their answer, even if I feel it's stupid, unless it's really way off the wall stupid, like Nephilim freestyle stupid. But if it's a good question, of course, I'll respect it. I'm not going to bash you or anything for it. I might have more questions, but, we'll leave it at that. My question is related to the young earth creationist view of everything being created in 6 days. They believe, or you believe, if you're a creationist watching this, you believe that the world, the stars, everything was created within this 6-day period of time, right? Now, what we see right now is a world that is not done being created. It's still being created as we speak. We see islands, new islands constantly appearing. We see islands being destroyed. We see continents moving, mountains rising out of the ground. We see constant changes to the earth. We even see the earth getting new mass every day. I believe it's 10 to the 25th power of kilograms of new mass every day added to the earth. And it sounds like a lot, but when you take the general size of the earth right now, it's, not all that much. But it is showing that the earth is still being made today. So one couldn't really say that the earth was created, seeing that it's still being created right now. To say it was would kind of contradict creation.
There is power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power.
Oh. I'm okay. I'm alright. Oh, just had a little relapse, that's all. Anyway, I guess I'm going to do a quick rant video. Someone comes to one of my Jesus Myth videos and he says that he's an expert on the Bible, and then he starts to ask a lot of questions about mostly the exception verses that argue against the theory, and he throws several of them out, and then he says, "There, I've debunked the Jesus Myth theory. It's untenable. It's just ridiculous." And then I try to answer some of his objections real briefly, and then he says, "Well, give me your best evidence for the Jesus Myth theory." So I said, "Well, go watch my videos, because that first video you commented on is just a summary. It doesn't support the conclusions. It just lists them, assertions, basically. All the subsequent videos are going to support what's in video number 1. And he didn't watch any of the subsequent videos. He just watched the first video. And in that video, I say that these are just claims to be supported in subsequent videos. And what does he put in his comment? "Oh, I watched this video and all it is a bunch of assertions." Yeah, that's what a summary is. It summarizes the theory.
With clockwork regularity, somebody takes it upon themselves to approach me unsolicited and start telling me about what I am missing in my life. Their God. These people think that what they are presenting to me are arguments that somehow in my 42 years of life I will never have heard before. And then they are upset when they get from me a very brusque response. I do not want to be saved by your figment of the imagination. Now this is a very strong stance to take. I guess that is one of the reasons why I get approached by so many other people who think that in me they will find a kindred spirit, somebody who hates religion as much as they do. And I am very, very sorry, but I'm gonna have to disappoint you. Because no matter how much you tell me how evil religion is, how evil Islam is, how evil Christianity is, even if I agree with you on many, many points in what you've got to say. There is no way on earth that I will hate a person for no other reason than what they believe in. It is not going to happen. Do not try to convince me that Muslims or Christians are evil and that they need to be restricted in their rights or kept out of the country or any such bullshit.